I'm about to start at the 2 minute mark. There we go. Buenos dias, buenos dias. Wake up, wake up. Omni Cosmic. You already know. Listen twice and speak once. Love your soul, not your role. Be a listener, not a talker. Today is Fortification Friday. You already know that, right? Cool. And may all the light that you deserve be focused on you and the intentions of being healthy in every aspect of your being. All respect and due to the Most High. A lot of stuff going on in this Bible reading, a lot of stuff going on in my studying of the Bible writing, a lot of stuff going on in research of philosophers, past tense, that have read this, examined it, studied it, wrote about it. But it all extends the same view that I've attained here in these last couple of months while reading this, using an app. So I'm not just picking out sections like a preacher would to wrap you in that state of mind. I'm reading the whole thing, not chronologically, because I read the New Testament first. I'm going to do all the morning affirmation stuff and all the quotes and all the poem cool stuff because that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that brings this up. But first, we're going to take 3 breaths. You ready? Here we go. Close your eyes. When I do that, I can't breathe out through my nose, which is natural, so you should do that. When I tell you breathe out your mouth, it's not natural. But right now I'm congested, so I cannot breathe out my nose. So when you do a meditation, breathe out your nose. That's like when you're training, say running. Running is through your nose all the time. Boxing, basketball. Don't open your mouth because you're gonna expend more energy. So in that sense, it makes sense. You inhale, expend that energy. But it's not natural. So breathing out through the nose pushes a lot more out. Okay, there goes. Morning affirmation, Fortification Friday. Love your soul, not your role. Wake up, wake up. Okay, I am building a strong foundation for my mind and body today. I choose to reinforce my boundaries, protect my peace, and finish this week with resilience. I am not just enduring the day, I am fortifying my spirit for the rest and joy that lies ahead. I have the power to stay steady, focused, and calm amidst the noise. Why fortification matters today. Friday is often a day where energy dips or stress peaks. That's strange, huh? That a day that people say TGIF, but that day causes your energy to dip or your stress to peak on the days that you're supposed to rest, but prior to the days that you're supposed to rest. That's kind of strange. But it's not, because a lot of people do things that they couldn't do in the week, and everything's closed on the end of the week, right? You can't do anything if you're doing business unless, there's some businesses that stay open, some don't. So, yap about that. So be clear secure your boundaries. Be clear about what you can realistically finish before the clock runs out. Acknowledge your wins. Fortification comes from recognizing your own strength. Name one thing you handled well this week. That guy that just posted some nonsense, I did that well this week. Yeah. Jessica Gomez, hola, hello, hi. Thank you for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So prepare your space. Clear off your desk. Hi, I. Raven Lee 1295. You love Duncan. You must be from Boston or at least Massachusetts. Yeah, I've been drinking this all my life, and I'm not promoting them, but they alright. But if you're in say like Central Florida where I am located, there's a place called Foxtails. They got some good stuff. But it's pricey because they make it there, and this stuff is made somewhere else and brought in. So try Foxtails if you get a chance. Shout out to Foxtails. Foxtail, yeah. First time I went, wow, they made me this really awesome coffee. So I kept on going. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. Wake up, wake up. Love your soul, natural is what we're all about. I didn't put my hat on, but I'm about to. Love your soul, not your role. If you read it out loud, it's LYSNYR. LYSNYR is to listen. Mainly to yourself. Mainly to you talking to yourself. Mainly to the voice from the all creator. Yes, I speak Spanish. You speak Spanish. Habla español. Sí, con ese apellido de Gómez. ¿De dónde eres? Yo soy nacido en los Estados Unidos. Mis padres son de Puerto Rico. Huepa, sí. ¿Cómo está? Gracias por participar. Te lo agradezco muchísimo. Que el Todopoderoso te cuide. Siempre. So, vaya México. ¿Cómo está? Yo tengo hijos. Son boricua y mexicanos. Ellos fueron a México para hacerse tatuajes de Puerto Rico. Son bellísimos. So I just did this earlier. I did the 3 breaths. So one of the pro tips is taking 3 breaths. If you can breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose. Zacatecas. Yeah. Los nenes míos son de... Los abuelos de ellos son de... Ay, se me olvidó. Yo, cuando me recuerde, te lo digo. Vaya Zacatecas, México, en la casa representando. Muchas gracias. I just gave some homage to Mexico's Zacatecas individual that's on here. She just wanted to say hello and hello to her. Or him. I don't know. I can't see you. So 3 breaths. It should be through your nose, but I can't because I'm congested. Give me 1 sec. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tú eres bien latina porque tú estás hablando en inglés como se pronuncia en español. Está bien. ¿Sabes lo que yo siempre utilizo? Que mucha gente no lo hace, pero se puede. Vaya a Google Translate, entra en español, te sale en inglés, copéalo. Ahí tiene un botón que dice copiar, como 2 papelitos. Lo copias, lo pones. Es fácil. Pero yo entendí lo que dijiste. Y gracias. Muchas gracias. So, deep breaths important. And if you can do more, do more. Do it in through your nose and out through your nose. Going through your mouth expends energy, which is what you want when you're doing intake good, exhale bad. So you can do that. Do it. It's important. Foundationally, puts you online, clears your mind up, focuses on the breath of life, which was given to you by the Almighty, the Creator. Another good tip is to clear off your desk. Prepare for Monday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's our affirmation. Hope you liked it. Muchas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. Te agradezco. No me haga, no me, no, me da pena. Pero no, gracias, gracias. So I got a quote. These are repeated on every Fortification Friday because I'll do it for like a month, then I'll switch it because repetition creates reconditioning. My teeth are yellow because I was drinking coffee, but that's natural. I don't whiten my teeth, but they look yellow, right? Anyway, change the light color. How's that? Let's see. Oh no, this is better. They look too yellow. So the repetition of this affirmation and the quote is to program. Basically, it's all is the program, but it's a self-sustained reprogramming, right? It's not something that's being used to deceive you or me, especially me. This is basically for me. I'm reading this stuff and I'm talking about this stuff for me first, and I'm sharing it. But I'm not quoting anything from the Bible. I'm reading it so that you guys can hear it just as I am. So the channel is changing. This is changing. When I first started reading the Bible, it was under the guise of deceitfulness. The more I started reading, the more research brought me right back to where I used to be when I was researching this stuff a long time ago. This Bible, the Torah, the Quran, a lot of other religious writings. So in my cloud of darkness, all that was lost. I lost that. So now I'm regaining it, and it's kind of like just rereading and reviewing what I already knew in terms of literature. But spiritually, there's things that every one of us already know that doesn't need to be etched into you by external knowledge. It's natural, just like animals. Animals know exactly what to do through their learning of their parents. So the mom raises them up. Pops ain't really there. He's out making more babies in the animal kingdom, right? And so she shows them everything. In the video game that I play, God of War 2018, I also play Ragnarok. But there's a point where at the beginning of 2018, Kratos and Atreus is going to hunt a bull or deer bull. I don't know what you call them, moose or whatever. And there's one point where he says, "Your mother trained you well, Atreus," something like that. So the mother trained him, and then the father took him out to test him, just like in the animal kingdom with lions, right? The mother trains him. So if a little boy, if the father doesn't get rid of him, the protector, then he'll go out on a hunt. Or he'll go out on a hunt. Actually, if it's a male, they don't hunt. But if it's a female, what they do, kind of different situations, they'll take her out and they'll test her, give her a test. She either pass or she don't. Then she's used for other things. So same thing with Creator Kana. The mother showed him everything. She showed him how to search for, and this isn't the video game, how to search for signs, and same thing in life. Then the father brought him out with the knowledge from the mother, and see how this student, this child, can utilize the knowledge that was given to him by his mother, and either enforce it, correct it, support it, yada yada yada. So here's a quote for today. And again, it's repetition, because the more you repeat something, the more you remember it. The more you repeat something, the more your body, your mind, your subconscious, however you repeat it, the more you will remember. So, we do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. I'm going to read that again. That's today's quote. Fortification Friday quote. We do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. I can never say this person's name right. Archilogus. But let me see if I can get this system to give me a pronunciation. Let's see. So that was a quote. He's a poet. See how do you say his name? Where's that? I gotta go to a precise app for that. I'll just do Gemini. Here we go. I gotta get a pronunciation of that poet's name. He's described with the title of a poet. So let's see how she says it.
Archilochus, circa 680.
Okay, so Archilochus, Arcoloco. That's a quote from him. He's a poet. So the quote is, we do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Bingo. Wake up, wake up. And here we go. We did the affirmation. Now let me see if I have a poem. I should have a poem. Here we go. Got the poem. Ready? I said, are you ready? All right, here we go. The title is called The Bastion's Eve. The shadows stretch across the office floor. The heavy latch is pulled upon the door. The week was long, a siege of task and time, a weary mountain that we had to climb. But now the sun begins its golden dip, and phantom anchors loosen on the ship. On the ship. Reinforce the spirit, brace the mind, leave the echoes of the toil behind. We build our walls of quiet, soft, and deep, of slow brewed coffee and of heavy sleep. No deadline fires can scale these garden walls, no urgent ringing echoes through these halls. This is the night we fortify the soul to make the fractured pieces feel once whole. With books for bricks and laughter for the line, we build a fortress out of stolen time. So rest your shield and let your banner fall, for Friday stands the strongest of them all. I like to say with that if you're used to the things that you're used to need to be, you got to destroy those things. How do you do that? Through meditation. Through meditation, reconditioning, and those things entail a lot. What you read, what you look at, what you listen to, music, movies, everything has to be either eliminated. People, situations, jobs, maybe, whatever it is that got you trapped and taking space in your mind, you need to get rid of it. If you want to evolve. If you don't want to evolve, do it to it. But if you have a sensation in you that's telling you, hey, God, let's do this, let's do that, and you're not doing it, then you're gonna have problems all the time. I know, because I have. When I was the pure resistance. Okay, I think we did all of those. We did the affirmation, quote, and the poem. I like to read the quote again. It's just telling me read the quote again, read the quote again. Here's the quote. We do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. By I still can't say it. Archilochus. He's a poet, supposedly. So let's see. So Archilochus from C68 to C680 to 645 BCE was an archaic Greek poet. Oh, and he was a soldier from the island of Paros. He is widely considered the first individual voice in Western literature, breaking away from the heroic, detached style of Homer to write about his own raw emotions, failures, and scandals. Dun, dun, dun. So that's who that is. That's where we got that quote from. I like it. It's a good quote. So the repetition of the quotes, the affirmations on those particular days is for a reason. It's to recondition me first. And if you subscribe to it, it's something that you need, you too. But me first. Okay? So we're going to finish Joshua today. We're going to finish kaput. Right now we're on chapter 7, ache and sin. There's something I wanted to say too. Using quotes, particular chapters, particular verses in a teaching will only limit the individual who's listening to that context. So if you're hearing somebody pick parts of, which you can do, but you got to listen to the message. If they're taking the part of the message, depending on where they're going with, then you listen to where they're going and you don't agree. You understand? You understand, understand, don't agree with it. If you, the moment that they say, their meaning for studying that only verse in that whole book, in that chapter, there's got to be a backstory, a front story. It's got to have some meat to it. And when they finally reveal, because they're going to reveal to you why they're telling you this, and it's always going to be pointed towards your faults, towards your supposed meagerness, right? Your weakness. And then basically it's just going to fill you with fear. Because this book, if you follow Christianity, if you follow any religion, can be used against you, and it is used against you. So you got to read it with spiritual intent, not logical, because none of this stuff makes sense. If you really look at it, it doesn't make no sense with the stuff that they're doing for their God. They're like just doing crazy stuff. You're going to hear some more. But it's up to you with your inner kingdom to understand that information and utilize it for the purpose of rebuilding or building a connection with the Creator. That's it. You can't do that if somebody's preaching to you, doing this. That's control. And I'm gonna read this to you because this right here, and this, yeah, I've been there, been in many churches, many, and they all do the same thing. So, like I always do, let me go, get out of here. Can I do a widget out of this thing? Widgets. Add. LYSNYR. So here's the app that I use, version. Go down here to the Bible. This is where we are. I used to read ahead, but I read ahead on this book that I have here. This one. Which really not good. Not at all. But that's okay. I don't think we could do research from what they have. There's notes in the bottom. There's actually a study Bible. It says it right there. So there are notes. In a couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know, we'll be done soon. I marked off a lot of the stuff that we've done except for the Old Testament, kind of, sort of. And I want to get separate books, but I don't. I just want to buy one book. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. No, I'm not. Okay. So here we go. Joshua chapter 7. We're just going to go through it. I'll stop it if I want to make some comments. If you want to make some comments, you can do that as well. But I'm just going to press play and go through. This is chapter 7. The title of it is Achan's Sin. Or Ashan's Sin, I guess.
Joshua chapter 7. But the Israelites were unfaithful in regard to the devoted things. Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took some of them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven, to the east of Bethel, and told them, "Go up and spy out the region." So the men went up and spied out Ai. When they returned to Joshua, they said, "Not all the army will have to go up against Ai. Send 2,000 or 3,000 men to take it, and do not weary the whole army, for only a few people live there." So about 3,000 went up. But they were routed by the men of Ai, who killed about 36 of them. They chased the Israelites from the city gate as far as the stone quarries, and struck them down on the slopes. At this, the hearts of the people melted in fear and became like water. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down to the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening. The elders of Israel did the same and sprinkled dust on their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, sovereign Lord, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. Pardon your servant, Lord. What can I say now that Israel has been routed by its enemies? The Canaanites and the other people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe out our name from the earth. What then will you do for your own great name? The Lord said to Joshua, Stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Israel has sinned. They have violated my covenant which I commanded them to keep. They have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen, they have lied. They have put them with their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. They turn their backs and run, because they have been made liable to destruction. I will not be with you any more, unless you destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction. Go.
Destroy whatever. What? This is. No, don't want to talk right now. I will not be with you anymore unless you destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction.
Consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. There are devoted things among you, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove them. In the morning, present yourselves tribe by tribe. The tribe that the Lord chooses shall come forward, clan by clan. The clan that the Lord chooses shall come forward, family by family. And the family that the Lord chooses shall come forward, man by man. Whoever is caught with the devoted things.
I want to look something up real quick. Real quick. Check this out. Okay. I'm just gonna, real quick, look up this name. Lord. I'll do it again. Hold on. And it has several different meanings, that word Lord. Many. Which is also confusing and just seems to be deceptive. The way they spell it, different ways they spell it, the different ways they spell it are the different meanings. And the internet information on the internet can be changed like that. So this is why everything's going to be on the internet, because once you read it and you don't have it on the book, an old book, it's going to be changed. And that's where that effect, the Mandela effect, comes from. They put everything on the internet and then they update it, and you're none the worry. But if you're a studier and you read it and you go, hey, wait a minute, this wasn't like this yesterday. That's why they're doing it. So watch out for the info that you get on here. A lot of it's garbage or edited. And like I always say, if something is edited, it's fake. Let me see. I just want to look at that. Hold on. I think it's right. So here you go. So edit. There it is. There's a definition. It's prepare written material, nowadays video material, for publication by correcting, condensing, or otherwise modifying. So if you look up the word modify, blah, 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 you'll get to the root. You'll get to the root. So anyway, let me finish that off because wake up, wake up. Okay, here we go. That's just my 2 cents.
Joshua chapter 7. But the Israelites were unfaithful in regard to the devoted things. Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took some of them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven, to the east of Bethel, and told them, go up and spy out the region. So the men went up and spied out Ai. When they returned to Joshua, they said, not all the army will have to go up against Ai. Send 2,000 or 3,000 men to take it, and do not weary the whole army, for only a few people live there. So about 3,000 went up. But they were routed by the men of Ai, who killed about 36 of them. They chased the Israelites from the city gate as far as the stone quarries, and struck them down on the slopes. At this, the hearts of the people melted in fear and became like water. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down to the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening. The elders of Israel did the same and sprinkled dust on their heads. And Joshua said, alas, sovereign Lord, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. Pardon your servant, Lord. What can I say now that Israel has been routed by its enemies? The Canaanites and the other people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe out our name from the earth. What then will you do for your own great name? The Lord said to Joshua, stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Israel has sinned. They have violated my covenant, which I commanded them to keep. They have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen, they have lied, they have put them with their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. They turn their backs and run, because they have been made liable to destruction. I will not be with you any more, unless you destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction. Go, consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. There are devoted things among you, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove them. In the morning, present yourselves tribe by tribe. The tribe that the Lord chooses shall come forward, clan by clan. The clan that the Lord chooses shall come forward, family by family. And the family that the Lord chooses shall come forward, man by man. Whoever is caught with the devoted things shall be destroyed by fire, along with all that belongs to him. He has violated the covenant of the Lord and has done an outrageous thing in Israel. Early the next morning, Joshua made Israel come forward by tribes, and Judah was chosen. The clans of Judah came forward, and the Zerites were chosen. He made the clan of the Zerites come forward by families, and Zimri was chosen. Joshua made his family come forward man by man, and Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was chosen. Then Joshua said to Achan, "My son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, and honor him. Tell me what you have done. Do not hide it from me." Achan replied, "It is true. I have sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. This is what I have done. When I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe from Babylonia, 200 shekels of silver and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent with the silver underneath." So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and there it was, hidden in his tent with the silver underneath. They took the things from the tent, brought them to Joshua and all the Israelites, and spread them out before the Lord. Then Joshua, together with all Israel, took Achan, son of Zerah, the silver, the robe, the gold bar, his sons and daughters, his cattle, donkeys and sheep, his tent, and all that he had, to the valley of Achor. Joshua said, "Why have you brought this trouble on us? The Lord will bring trouble on you today." Then all Israel stoned him, and after they had stoned the rest, they burned them. Over Achan, they heaped up a large pile of rocks, which remains to this day. Then the Lord turned from his fierce anger. Therefore that place has been called the Valley of Achor ever since. Joshua chapter 8. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Take the whole army with you and go up and attack Ai. For I have delivered into your hands the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. You shall do to Ai and its king as you did to Jericho and its king, except that you may carry off their plunder and livestock for yourselves. Set an ambush behind the city." So Joshua and the whole army moved out to attack Ai. He chose 30,000 of his best fighting men and sent them out at night, with these orders. Listen carefully. You are to set an ambush behind the city. Don't go very far from it. All of you be on the alert. I and all those with me will advance on the city, and when the men come out against us, as they did before, we will flee from them. They will pursue us until we have lured them away from the city, for they will say, "They are running away from us as they did before." So when we flee from them, you are to rise up from ambush and take the city. The Lord your God will give it into your hand. When you have taken the city, set it on fire. Do what the Lord has commanded. See to it. You have my orders. Then Joshua sent them off, and they went to the place of ambush and lay in wait between Bethel and Ai, to the west of Ai. But Joshua spent that night with the people. Early the next morning, Joshua mustered his army, and he and the leaders of Israel marched before them to Ai. The entire force that was with him marched up and approached the city and arrived in front of it. They set up camp north of Ai, with the valley between them and the city. Joshua had taken about 5,000 men and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai to the west of the city. So the soldiers took up their positions with the main camp to the north of the city and the ambush to the west of it. That night, Joshua went into the valley. When the king of Ai saw this, he and all the men of the city hurried out early in the morning to meet Israel in battle at a certain place overlooking the Arabah. But he did not know that an ambush had been set against him behind the city. Joshua and all Israel let themselves be driven back before them, and they fled towards the wilderness. All the men of Ai were called to pursue them, and they pursued Joshua and were lured away from the city. Not a man remained in Ai or Bethel who did not go after Israel. They left the city open and went in pursuit of Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Hold out towards Ai the javelin that is in your hand, for into your hand I will deliver the city." So Joshua held out towards the city the javelin that was in his hand. As soon as he did this, the men in the ambush rose quickly from their position and rushed forward. They entered the city and captured it and quickly set it on fire. The men of Ai looked back and saw the smoke of the city rising up into the sky, but they had no chance to escape in any direction. The Israelites who had been fleeing towards the wilderness had turned back against their pursuers. For when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that smoke was going up from the city, they turned round and attacked the men of Ai. Those in the ambush also came out of the city against them, so that they were caught in the middle with Israelites on both sides. Israel cut them down, leaving them neither survivors nor fugitives. But they took the king of Ai alive and brought him to Joshua. When Israel had finished killing all the men of Ai in the fields and in the wilderness where they had chased them, and when every one of them had been put to the sword, all the Israelites returned to Ai and killed those who were in it. 12,000 men and women fell that day, all the people of Ai. For Joshua did not draw back the hand that held out his javelin until he had destroyed all who lived in Ai. But Israel did carry off for themselves the livestock and plunder of this city, as the Lord had instructed Joshua. So Joshua burned Ai and made it a permanent heap of ruins, a desolate place to this day. He impaled the body of the king of Ai on a pole and left it there until evening. At sunset, Joshua ordered them to take the body from the pole and throw it down at the entrance of the city gate. And they raised a large pile of rocks over it, which remains to this day. Then Joshua built on Mount Ebal an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, as Moses the servant of the Lord had commanded the Israelites. He built it according to what is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of uncut stones, on which no iron tool had been used. On it they offered to the Lord burnt offerings and sacrificed fellowship offerings. There, in the presence of the Israelites, Joshua wrote on stones a copy of the law of Moses. All the Israelites, with their elders, officials, and judges, were standing on both sides of the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, facing the Levitical priests who carried it. Both the foreigners living among them and the native-born were there. Half of the people stood in front of Mount Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant of the Lord had formerly commanded, when he gave instructions to bless the people of Israel. Afterwards, Joshua read all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses, just as it is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses had commanded that Joshua did not read to the whole assembly of Israel, including the women and children and the foreigners who lived among them. Joshua chapter 9. Now when all the kings west of the Jordan heard about these things, the kings in the hill country, in the western foothills, and along the entire coast of the Mediterranean Sea as far as Lebanon, the kings of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, they came together to wage war against Joshua and Israel. However, when the people of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they resorted to a ruse. They went as a delegation whose donkeys were loaded with worn-out sacks and old wineskins, cracked and bended. They put worn and patched sandals on their feet and wore old clothes. All the bread of their food supply was dry and moldy. Then they went to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal and said to him and the Israelites, "We have come from a distant country. Make a treaty with us." The Israelites said to the Hivites, "But perhaps you live near us, so how can we make a treaty with you?" "Well, we are your servants," they said to Joshua. But Joshua asked, "Who are you, and where do you come from?" They answered, "Your servants have come from a very distant country because of the fame of the Lord your God. For we have heard reports of him, all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, Sihon, king of Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth. And our elders and all those living in our country said to us, 'Take provisions for your journey, go and meet them and say to them, "We are your servants, make a treaty with us." This bread of ours was warm when we packed it at home on the day we left to come to you. But now see how dry and moldy it is. And these wineskins that we filled were new, but see how cracked they are. And our clothes and sandals are worn out by the very long journey." The Israelites sampled their provisions, but did not inquire of the Lord. Then Joshua made a treaty of peace with them to let them live, and the leaders of the assembly ratified it by oath. 3 days after they made the treaty with the Gibeonites, the Israelites heard that they were neighbors, living near them. So the Israelites set out, and on the 3rd day came to their cities, Gibeon, Kephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath-Jearim. But the Israelites did not attack them, because the leaders of the assembly had sworn an oath to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. The whole assembly grumbled against the leaders, but all the leaders answered, "We have given them our oath by the Lord, the God of Israel, and we cannot touch them now. This is what we will do to them. We will let them live, so that God's wrath will not fall on us for breaking the oath we swore to them." They continued, "Let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water carriers in the service of the whole assembly." So the leader's promise to them was kept. Then Joshua summoned the Gibeonites and said, "Why did you deceive us by saying, 'We live a long way from you,' while actually you live near us? You are now under a curse. You will never be released from service as woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God." They answered Joshua,
In today's day and age, and what I'm looking at, these are a bunch of witches and warlocks. They're cursing everybody. And warmongers are taking everybody's stuff and telling them. And that hasn't changed.
"Your servants were clearly told how the Lord your God had commanded his servant Moses to give you the whole land and to wipe out all its inhabitants from before you. So we feared for our lives because of you, and that is why we did this. We are now in your hands. Do to us whatever seems good and right to you." So Joshua saved them from the Israelites, and they did not kill them. That day he made the Gibeonites woodcutters and water carriers for the assembly, to provide for the needs of the altar of the Lord at the place the Lord would choose. And that is what they are to this day.
What is this day?
Joshua chapter 10. Now Adonai-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had taken Ai and totally destroyed it, doing to Ai and its king as he had done to Jericho and its king, and that the people of Gibeon had made a treaty of peace with Israel and had become their allies. He and his people were very much alarmed at this, because Gibeon was an important city, like one of the royal cities. It was larger than Ai, and all its men were good fighters. So Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, appealed to Hoham, king of Hebron, Hiram, king of Jarmuth, Japhiah, king of Lachish, and Debir, king of Eglon. "Come up and help me attack Gibeon," he said, "because it has made peace with Joshua and the Israelites." Then the 5 kings of the Amorites, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon, joined forces. They moved up with all their troops and took up positions against Gibeon and attacked it. The Gibeonites then sent word to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal, "Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us. Help us, because all the Amorite kings from the hill country have joined forces against us." So Joshua marched up from Gilgal with his entire army, including all the best fighting men. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. I have given them into your hand. Not one of them will be able to withstand you." After an all-night march from Gilgal, Joshua took them by surprise. The Lord threw them into confusion before Israel. So Joshua and the Israelites defeated them completely at Gibeon. Israel pursued them all along the road going up to Beth-horon, and cut them down all the way to Azekah and Makkedah. As they fled before Israel on the road down from Beth-horon to Azekah, the Lord hurled large hailstones down on them, and more of them died from the hail than were killed by the swords of the Israelites. On the day the Lord gave the Amorites over to Israel, Joshua said to the Lord in the presence of Israel, "Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the nation avenged itself on its enemies, as it is written in the book of Jasher. The sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day. There has never been a day like it before or since, a day when the Lord listened to a human being. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel. Then Joshua returned with all Israel to the camp at Gilgal. Now the 5 kings had fled and hidden in the cave at Makkedah. When Joshua was told that the 5 kings had been found hiding in the cave at Makkedah, he said, "Roll large rocks up to the mouth of the cave and post some men there to guard it. But don't stop. Pursue your enemies. Attack them from the rear and don't let them reach their cities, for the Lord your God has given them into your hand." So Joshua and the Israelites defeated them completely, but a few survivors managed to reach their fortified cities. The whole army then returned safely to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah, and no one uttered a word against the Israelites. Joshua said, "Open the mouth of the cave and bring those 5 kings out to me." So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they had brought these kings to Joshua, he summoned all the men of Israel and said to the army commanders who had come with him, "Come here and put your feet on the necks of these kings." So they came forward and placed their feet on their necks. Joshua said to them, "Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Be strong and courageous. This is what the Lord will do to all the enemies you are going to fight." Then Joshua put the kings to death and exposed their bodies on 5 poles, and they were left hanging on the poles until evening. At sunset, Joshua gave the order, and they took them down from the poles and threw them into the cave where they had been hiding. At the mouth of the cave, they placed large rocks, which are there to this day. That day, Joshua took Makkedah. He put the city and its king to the sword and totally destroyed everyone in it. He left no survivors, and he did to the king of Makkedah as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Makkedah to Libnah and attacked it. The Lord also gave that city and its king into Israel's hand. The city and everyone in it Joshua put to the sword. He left no survivors there, and he did to its king as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Libnah to Lachish. He took up positions against it and attacked it. the Lord gave Lachish into Israel's hands, and Joshua took it on the second day. The city and everyone in it he put to the sword, just as he had done to Libnah. Meanwhile, Horam, king of Gezer, had come up to help Lachish, but Joshua defeated him and his army until no survivors were left. Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Lachish to Eglon. They took up positions against it and attacked it. They captured it that same day and put it to the sword and totally destroyed everyone in it, just as they had done to Lachish. Then Joshua and all Israel with him went up from Eglon to Hebron and attacked it. They took the city and put it to the sword together with its king, its villages, and everyone in it. They left no survivors. Just as at Eglon, they totally destroyed it.
So earlier, chapter 9. Let me make sure. Earlier it said that this God is not going to follow them and be with them until they destroy what's the destruction within them. But it's okay to do this. So when he's saying they got rid of everybody, men, women, and children, destroyed everything, babies included. I don't see me paying homage to this individual, whoever he is. Doesn't sound like a God, like a benevolent, beautiful, warm, loving, just a warmonger. Take this, take that, kill this, kill that. Have no mercy, none.
And everyone in it.
And everyone.
Then Joshua and all Israel with him turned round and attacked Debir. They took the city, its king, and its villages, and put them to the sword. Everyone in it they totally destroyed. They left no survivors.
None.
They did to Debir and its king.
So he's telling you that their Lord has given them permission to go into lands, conquer the lands, and destroy everyone in the land. Men, women, children, grandmothers, babies. Everyone.
As they had done to Libnah and its king, and to Hebron. So Joshua subdued the whole region, including the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes, together with all their kings. He left no survivors. He totally destroyed all who breathed, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua subdued them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, and from the whole region of Goshen to Gibeon. All these kings and their lands Joshua conquered in one campaign, because the Lord, the God of Israel, fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned with all Israel to the camp at Gilgal. Joshua chapter 11. When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard of this, he sent word to Jobab, king of Madon, to the...
All right, I had enough. Literally had enough. Destruction, murder on a mass scale, invasion, colonization, all that stuff that I, as who I am, would not do unless it's absolutely necessary. It doesn't look like it's necessary for them because they escaped Egypt, so now everything outside of Egypt that belongs to them. Why didn't they just fight Egypt? I don't know. Anyway, I was looking up some stuff earlier this morning, really early, just because it interested me. So, here's some meanings of the name of the Bible. So there's 4 letters, I suppose. Let me see. So I'm just going to create some space between these definitions so I can know where to stop. Some of these you may already know. Some you may not. Okay, here we go. So the meaning of the name Matthew in Hebrew is gift of God, spiritual and classic. The meaning of the name Mark is warlike, dedicated to Mars, strong and traditional. The meaning of the name Luke, which comes from Greek, is light. Luke means light. The definition of the name John, Hebrew, God is gracious. That's what John means. Genesis, everybody knows that's the beginning, origin, and Jesus, Hebrew, the Lord saves, is what it means, is sacred and powerful. And Moses, the name Moses, means to draw out or son. So there you go. That's something I found interesting this morning. I got some demonology information as well. Check this out. Okay. So these are the names, meanings of demons, or what they call demons. Okay, here you go. First one, Lucifer, which means light, as well as Luke, pride, the light bringer who fell from grace due to his ego, mammon, greed. Is greed often associated with material wealth and the pursuit of money? Asmodeus. And by the way, all of these demons are in the game that I play, which is a great game. I think I'm gonna play it just to wrap this up. What's the name of that game? It's a good game, anyway. Leviathan, envy, a primordial sea serpent representing chaos and jealousy. Beelzebub, gluttony, known as Lord of the Flies, originally in Philistine god, so Baal and changed to Baal. Satan is wrath, the adversary or accuser who represents anger and opposition. Belphegor, sloth, tempts people with laziness and easy wealth through invention. Just something I was looking up that I wanted to share with you. So I'm done. We'll maybe come back later to finish off Joshua, but same old story in the Old Testament. Kill, 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 take, take, take. Give, 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 blood, blood, blood. That's what it seemed like to me. But let me know in the comments. There's no description and no special links or anything in the description, just what's usually there. So love you so natural. See you on the next one.